got a new segment this month of May called the Huddle, which is this is pretty much going to be a couple of topics that we're going to talk about. I don't want to say it's controversial, but more so very thought provoking, and it's going to very engage a lot of conversation. So if you want to join in on the fun here, you can give us a call here at 804-402-2893. So that's 804-402-2893. LegacyInternetRadio.com. You can also look at us on Facebook Live. Check us out there. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Couch Coach Live. And once again, we're joined here by my man, Mr. I Got Something to Say. What's going on? Tavon? Tavon's good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Friday night is cool in here, bro.
Yes, sir.
Chop it up.
Chop it up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, of course, let's talk about our first topic here on the Huddle. Is the situation with the Adam Jones situation. So pretty much on Monday, and if you guys don't know, Adam Jones is actually a baseball player for the Baltimore Orioles. So on Monday night, they were playing the Boston Red Sox in the famed Fenway Park, unfortunately. And Adam Jones pretty much said that the N-word was said to him, as well as peanuts were being thrown at him. So the biggest thing I want to talk about tonight about that situation is in a sense, what is a very progressive way, in a sense, that we could end this type of situation. And I know it's one of those things where, I let you continue before we,
No, go ahead. I
Yeah.
will say because that's my squad, Baltimore Orioles.
Okay, yeah.
That's my baseball team.
Yeah.
Everybody got a squad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my squad. When I heard Adam say that, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've never been to Fenway Park, but I can only imagine stories I've heard.
Yeah.
Listening to baseball fans,
Mm-hmm.
listening to stories, and
Yeah.
by interacting with Boston Red Sox fans when they come down to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mixed with them because I've been to plenty Red Sox Oriole games.
Yeah.
And there is that hint of that little smidget of, you can see the looks.
Yeah.
How they look like, and sometimes their mannerisms. I've never been called out my name, or called the N-word by them, but I can see it. And, just like I said, because you've heard historically, that this, that, or whatever. But what Boston tends to do is, because you know how people come at the Patriots all the time about, I hate the Patriots, and they rally around each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they like, it's a world against Boston, and that fake.
that fake love, or not fake, that fake hate that people,
give them.
Yeah.
Look, we're not really pressed for y'all. I mean, we can see
Yeah.
what it is, in this Boston.
Yeah.
Irish, Catholic. It's a certain narrative that goes along with that. It's a certain, history of
that time,
goes
yeah.
along with that. I wouldn't see. Kurt Schilling came out and said something. Remember Kurt Schilling?
Yeah.
He came out and said he thought that it was bogus.
Right.
That what Adam said. I've never witnessed it. Oh, because you've never seen it.
And my thing is, and that's hard to say that somebody that type of experience has happened to somebody. You think about the size of a baseball field.
Exactly.
And plus, you're not gonna see it because you're a pitcher and you're on the mound.
You're in the mound.
He's in the dugout.
Yeah, if you're not in the game, you're in the VIP section.
Right.
So you're removed.
You're removed from it. You're right. You're not at Fenway when it's 100 degrees in Boston.
Right.
You are in like you said, a nice insulated, isolated booth.
When you achieve a certain level of what he did, Kurt Schilling,
Yeah.
pictures,
and won the World Series for them.
So you're removed from a lot of things. So you
Compared
got witness to a lot of things. So
compared to the scrutiny of Adam Jones, and that's my thing. And people don't understand about this situation. It's like, I couldn't believe that he actually thought that was actually like somebody would make that up, and I'm like, that's something that you don't make up.
In this day and age, you don't have to.
You don't have to, like you said. It's very prevalent, and and my thing is, it's one of those things where it's like you said, this is prevalent everywhere. And the thing with, and people say, well, this isn't Boston, but in a sense, Boston has allowed this. And I'm always the type of person that say, hey, you are what you allow.
Right.
You are allowing this to happen in a sense because this guy, okay, they claimed that he was drunk and okay, well he said that and then they kicked him out. So do he get a lifetime ban? Or can he come back? He could if he says this is this guy Monday, can he come back on Friday
But I
and do the same thing?
One guy that this incident is about.
Yeah.
Was banned.
He was banned. Yeah.
He was banned.
And my thing is, how do you do that? And
Right.
that's my thing, because I even thought about it, and it's one of those things where it's in my mind, it's an infant stage of it. But I think the only way I think you can really, really enforce it is if you scan people's actual like driver's license and what have you.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But then it's gonna be like evasive. Like people, I'm not gonna try to say it's gonna be like it's like the airlines. But it's going to be something in that same realm because how can you enforce that? Because it's very hard for you to literally enforce that. And if a guy spends money, like even in the open market where you go into like these StubHub and stuff, and he buys a ticket, and he can get anybody else to buy a ticket, and then you're going to tell him if he spends $100-something, you're not going to just tell that man if he spends $100-something, hey, you're banned here for life. That's what it ultimately boils down to.
Yeah, because other than banning you from the stadium, which you're gonna get back in.
You
really want to get back in, you'll get back in. And I'm sure that it wasn't as enforced as we think it is.
Right, and that's my thing, and that's like I say, and this is what's going to keep on happening. And the thing that really made me really mad about it was Tuesday's game where they gave him a standing ovation, and I thought that was like one of the most disingenuous things I've ever seen in my life.
And you know what was funny is I watched the Orioles, but I don't. A lot of times I gotta watch more replay.
Yeah.
But I actually turned it on as soon as it came up the bat.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, are they clapping because they feel guilty?
That's what it is. They feel feel
guilty. Are they genuine in their response?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell
no.
you can just see.
You can
like,
just tell that it's coming from a place, like you said, it's coming from a place where it almost like fake empathy.
Right.
It's fake.
Right.
Because like you should have been doing this from the jump. That's what I'm saying. And my thing is okay. And to go back to the Kurt Schillings thing, because Mike Lupica had a great piece on I think it was Sports World or Sports Universe. I forgot what it was. And it was an 18-year-old kid that gave him an eyewitness account of what happened. And they were even laughing at the point. They were laughing when the guy was throwing the peanuts on, because the peanuts happened first, and then the racial slurs came after it. So I'm like, this is my thing. What is the stated responsibility when it comes to the protection of the actual players itself? Because we all know, and we know the reasoning why they did that, because they feel as though that they are protected under that field, that field with fan type of. They think they have that license as a fan to do what they're doing because you bought a ticket. And that's my thing. We have to be more important. And that's the thing about it, where do we go from here as far as ending this type of situation? Because the fact that you are throwing something at a player and everybody's laughing, it's almost just as bad as doing that. Right. Especially when you're throwing something like peanuts.
You're encouraging it.
You're encouraging it because
if
right.
The initial thing was peanuts.
Right.
And you got people laughing. Oh, I'm gonna take it to the next level. N-word. Okay.
And shout out to our guy Russ who's watching us here on Facebook Live. Man, it was fake, Russ. I'm telling you, bro, it was fake. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with you. It was fake. But like you're saying, because what that was, when you laugh, that egged them on to do it. Because I guarantee you, if he would have got stopped in his tracks after throwing maybe one or two peanuts, and you seen that, guess what? It wouldn't. Yeah, and it wouldn't have got to that point where, because what he did was he said, oh, yeah, what can I do now to make these people in these upper rows laugh or get a rise out of them? Encourage them.
Let me go ahead and say this.
Yeah, let me go and say that.
But the thing is, what spark did he get out the audience for that, the crowd for that, when he said the N-word?
Right.
What happened there?
Right, and then of course the kids' account was like, well, oh well, it was one of those things where it got real. I'm like, what do you mean it got real? No, this is one of because what they were trying to say was he was drunk to a point where nobody wanted to pick a fight with him. But at the same token, you don't. But you don't. But the thing about it, you don't have to pick that fight. If you knew what was going on, you knew this guy was drunk, and he said something that offended you. You go to an attendant in that stadium and you say, "Hey, look, he just said this word." And because guess what? If you heard it, because the guy heard it from like 20 rows up. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me these 19 other rows of people didn't hear that too?
Mm-hmm. So who got with the attendant to kick him out? Was it, did Adam Jones point him out, or did somebody in the stands point him out?
I'm thinking this somebody pointed him out eventually once because everybody was, because what happened was the guy said the racist slur to Adam Jones. Yeah. Then a couple other guys in that same section with him was like, well, cut it out, or whatever, like, talking to him like that. Yeah. But then everybody was so timid because they really wouldn't want to pick a fight with him. But I'm like, no, I don't. This is and that's this goes to the tolerance of what we just said. Right. In a sense, this was a chain reaction. You're approving it. You're approving it
because you didn't do anything.
That's just one of those things that I'm not trying to. And like you said, I'm definitely not a confrontational person. But if I seen something like that, it's not even if it was a situation where it was another player of a different race and it was something that's offensive, and I know that's a word that's offensive to that particular race, you have to stand up and you have to say, hey man, that was wrong. Like if you don't have the courage to say that, well, you get somebody that works in that stadium and they will escort them out.
Yeah, but you look at it from your perspective.
That's true because it's the moral high ground. What an adult should do. But of course, when you are in this situation where these guys think he's like Kevin Hart, and he's just like, telling jokes. Every peanut is like, bloom. Every peanut that he threw, it was almost like gave him ammunition.
But you know what that is?
Yeah.
That's nothing but a form of white privilege.
Right, and that's what it ultimately boils down to.
That's what it is because for him to shuck the peanuts, and he got away with that.
Right.
Away with that. And why am I getting away with that? Okay, how many people of color were in that section?
Right.
That got offended. That just sat there, didn't say anything, but were getting offended. True. What was the atmosphere like in that area?
Yeah.
And he's doing it, and and people are egging him on. Yeah. And are the people of color turning around looking like and afraid to say something because they're outnumbered? I mean, we don't know how that whole thing went down, and I mean, for him to take it, it had to be there because he went on to the next step and called him.
Right.
Oh, okay. So then what happened? Did someone say, "Hey, get this guy out of here. He's too drunk"?
Right.
Or did I mean, what
really happened?
What really happened?
And then it's one of those things where it's like, when was enough for you?
But the thing is, we've reached the point where, okay, it happened and somebody said something about it.
Yeah.
What about all the times when it happened and nothing was said?
That's true.
How many times people have gotten away with,
doing
and I'm sure it's been worse because Adam Jones has had bananas thrown at him before.
Right.
In the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
yeah.
I mean, not to say that peanuts are better.
But all of it, just for them to throw, then that's my thing. For you to even throw any objects on the field for a play, and endanger a player, and that's my problem, and that's my biggest issue as far as with these stadiums where they have to do something to enforce, and they have to protect these players because you just never know, what can happen in that type of space.
No, but I mean, with penance, what do they do? What's their fine? Is it because we already know when anytime you're in a public place and there's a crowd that large, you're under strict surveillance. There is cameras everywhere. People believe that there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, if because we've seen these movies where the camera can actually zoom in on somebody in a small confrontation.
Yeah.
Will something like that identify somebody doing something, and then is there thing, a disclaimer before you enter the park that if
Yes.
you are
Yes.
cited doing this, that, and
That's
third,
true.
you will get fined or expelled or whatever from the park. I mean,
Yeah. And I definitely want to give a huge shout out to my cousin Tracy, watching us here on Couch Coach Live. And shout out to Christina for checking out Couch Coach Live. Appreciate that. And also, and a good point, and also I got Daryl is watching, actually one of the teammates here on Couch Coach Live, and he brought up a good point several days ago. How if you're like in that Boston area, that if you do something of that nature, I don't know what he said verbatim, but I'm just gonna paraphrase what he said. That if you were in that area, that you're banned from from Foxborough Stadium, you're banned from all the venues in the city of Boston. Really? Which I thought that's actually a good idea because that makes it a little more stiffer. Because if you're like a Red Sox fan, you're not gonna do that.
So you can't
in the sense. So you can't Red Sox games, you can't go to Celtics,
Bruins.
You can't go to none of those games. And I like that idea. It's very progressive because that's one of those things where it's a lot stiffer because at least like you're saying, it can it's one of those things where it can kind of go both ways. It can go a situation where if he's not from Boston, it's really not going to affect him per se. Right, and that's my thing where I don't want to be like the airlines where if you scan an ID that. But I think that's the only way that you can do it. But of course, I don't think that's going to happen because it's, in a sense, it's too evasive. A lot of people will be.
Yeah, that's really intrusive. That's
right.
In your business.
That's really in your base. Yeah.
Privacy. I mean,
yeah.
Really, if I want to come to a baseball game, I got to show ID. I mean.
Yeah, and that's my thing. And and that's. How do you enforce that? And then it's like say if actually it's something that we to go back to the point earlier, where like say for instance I got kicked out of a game, I'd be like, hey yo Tate, $100 buy more stuff for me, give me another ticket, and that's what people are going to do. So it's kind of like it is kind of hard to enforce something of that nature. So I don't know, man. It's interesting.
They don't want to lose the money.
Right. Right. And that's
sure
what.
With Boston, the Red Sox is, that's a historical franchise.
In the event of something was that take place of that nature, where I don't, it's just one of the things I just don't understand. And of course, we talked about players in the past have said this about Boston. And of course, we talked about like the CC Sabathia's. He said that once upon a time that's happened to him, and several other Boston legends, and to an extent, have experienced that as well.
Yeah, but then to see how the team itself carries an interaction with my boys, the Orioles. I mean,
yeah,
the pitching,
right,
Machado,
and that was and that's what made it was, and I think, and that's what made it. Because when we talked about the Celtics and the Wizards game, how it's physical, right, but it's not personal. That's
not yet.
Right, not yet. not we haven't got to that point. Right. But that's when the Machado situation, it felt like that situation just amplified. It almost like it was the charcoal that sparked the fire. Mm-hmm. That it was just it's weird.
Happened, Machado said it started with April when Machado slid into second base and he said he slid in high and he was looking to spike the guy. He said it wasn't whatever it wasn't okay. It happens. It's baseball. They've been doing it for years. Yeah. So you're getting real sensitive now. But then for the pitcher to come and throw it at Machado's head.
That's true.
And then to throw behind him. I don't like the manner in which he expressed himself, but I agree with him. Yeah. You throwing the ball at me 100-some miles an hour. I got a bat, and if I come and rush the mound with that bat, I'm wrong. That's true. But you hit me with a ball in my head. Really? Somebody got to do something about it. And, but it's Boston.
It's Boston. It's Boston for you. It is. It's Boston. I mean, it is what it
You
is.
know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's all hustle.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to everybody listening to us on Facebook Live. Shout out to Uncle Boom and watching us here on Couch Coach Live. So, another final topic on this week's Huddle. Okay, now this is another story where it's just like it's BS. We're calling BS from the start. And actually, this is something that I actually got from our guy Daryl. And actually, it's something I just found out about yesterday. Now, the LSU athletic department sent out emails to 350 student athletes. Now, of course, if you are, I wouldn't say sleeping on the rock, you're aware of the Alton Sterling case. Unfortunately, that there won't be any charges against the cop that committed that particular act of violence. We don't, want to say no more about that situation, but of course, that is the area where the Alton Sterling situation happens in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is home of the LSU Tigers. So of course, LSU had a letter, and it pretty much said that they give them respect and support of the situation at hand, and that they want the student athletes to be mindful of media attention, and also they encourage athletes to avoid violent situations. But the kicker of the letter and the reasoning why this screams a foul, that if you do participate in these type of activities, please leave your LSU gear at home. Yeah. And this is one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things where it upsets me, because at the end of the day, I hate that when you do stuff of this type of nature, when you try to make a stance or something like that of nature, someone always wants to tell you how to do it in their particular way, how to protest. And my thing is this: if you're LSU and you're this so-called progressive university and what have you, how about this? Hey guys, if it's guys if you guys want to protest, guess what? You can protest in front of this building here or there. We'll protect you. To that, I mean, it's something of that nature to be to be proactive
but
about.
The funny thing is, we can make money off of you.
Right,
we
and
can
that's
make money off of your hard work,
right,
pain and suffering. But we only want you to represent us when we tell you
in
to.
a positive light.
When we tell you to. Because if I'm out in the street and I'm an LSU student, I got a sweatshirt on, LSU football.
Yeah.
And it's a protest going on. I'm a student that just so happened to have this sweatshirt on when it came. I got to take the sweatshirt off the protest.
But this is more so of the student athletes. It's going to gear towards the students. And that's my thing, because, and I'll give you a perfect example. I don't know if you remember, maybe a year or two ago, that they blocked off Broad Street. They had a Black Lives Matter march. A thing that there was somebody when they blocked the highway. Of course, I got caught in that.
Okay.
But of course, driving by it, I've seen people with VCU stuff on and here and there. I mean, of course. And it's one of the things where it's like, I understand why they did this, because, like you said, they're making money off of the backs of these players. They're not. It's LSU is making money. It's
And my homeboy Derek Cassine was down there in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Chime in, bro. I mean, you can tell us what's the dialogue, what's going on, what is that about? Why these kids, being encumbered and handcuffed as far as being able to express themselves? They're students, and they go to a certain university. Why is that okay? Because I'm going to go and protest. I can't wear my college. I can't be proud of where I'm spending thousands of dollars at.
Right. And because what it is it's fine for you if you're like, if I'm an academic guy and I'm making a 3.0 GPA, guess what? I can go out there and protest with an LSU shirt.
Right.
But if I'm a guy like a Leonard Fournette, oh, how dare you do that? Because guess what? I'm the one that's pumping the money in. He's the one that I'm pumping the money as far as bringing in my little 30,000, whatever I'm bringing to the university. But they know him, Leonard Fournette. He's bringing in millions. He's bringing in millions. So of course, me, the 3.0 guy, I don't care what you do.
That's why he was allowed to get away with it as far as not participating in the bowl game.
Right.
He doesn't want to hurt his chances of going to the NFL.
Right.
Okay, but what about the money that I'm pumping into the school?
Right.
What about the money? I'm paying money. Oh, he's bringing in millions.
And that's my thing is people don't understand that. Because if he would, they're not. And that's my thing is when I wouldn't say I say it was a very healthy disagreement with one of the friends of the show. And it was more so of it was a distraction, and I understand it's a distraction to an extent. I would respect you if you told everybody on that campus, but I know how college athletics work, and I know that, like I said, if I'm the 3.0 guy, I don't care what you do. You can do whatever you want to do, but if that Leonard Fournette is on the front lines with the LSU football shirt, guess what's going to happen? He's what they call the dean, the face of LSU, and of course, what happens there, LSU might lose money in sponsorships, and that's what it ultimately boils down to. The thing about it, it's fine if you in certain realms, if in this case. In other words, this is almost like a boss and employee type of situation when you in the grand scheme of things, and that's why I hate, especially especially in these big universities that we preach that you're a student athlete. No, you're not a student athlete. This example crystallizes the reasoning why there is no such thing as student athletics in this predicament, because there's no why. Man. It's just one of those things where it's just like it pisses me off when we always get to this point where we deem as 18 to 22-year-olds. We want these kids to make these grown-up decisions and this, that, and the third. We want these kids who just went to their high school prom 2 or 3 years ago, and we want them to become this type of trained robot in a sense. Right. And I always thought that college was, in a sense, was supposed to be where you found yourself. And to an extent, and
college is the place where they put you so they can figure out
what they can do, want you to do for them. And this is where, and this is my thing as a student. That's why, and this is not a student athlete thing. This is I'm the boss, you're the employee. Do as I say, and that's what it boils down to. And I'm tired of people always saying, well, they go to school for free and this, that, and the third, but these guys are making millions and millions of dollars off. And it's a lot of hard work, right? And that's my thing. And that's why I hate that we preach this amateurism in college sports. This is not an amateur sport. Not when they're making this kind of money. And I'm telling you, I guarantee you, in the fall, that stadium is going to be packed, 80,000 deep.
For the
money these schools are making.
The money these schools make off of these football programs. And a lot of these teams are comparable to NFL teams. I guarantee you, if you put Alabama's team last year against the Jets, it'd have been very competitive.
It depends on
it'd
who's
competitive.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what they're getting money that the same professional athletes are getting, but not sharing it with kids.
And then they're sharing it with the kids.
And that's the question that they've been asking here lately. It's become prevalent now. Okay, should kids get paid that play college sports? Should they get paid?
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, and it's one of the things I say yes, and of course a lot of people have objected. And matter of fact, I think this is one of the topics that we had on our first show. We talked about how they get paid and what have you, and of that nature, because there's other forms of income where these guys can make money off of. And to me, say for instance, I gave an example. I think that day was if North Carolina won the national championship. So say for instance, there's 12 guys on the roster, and you sell North Carolina national championship T-shirts. and say you send like $30 a pop. So every T-shirt that's sold, maybe like $20 divided into these guys. So maybe they get like $2 or $3 per shirt.
Okay.
Off of that, if it has your, if it has that, because people don't understand that colleges get multiple streams of income, and I think the only really legit way to quantify that they get paid is based on the merchandise, of the school, because the merchandise, because that's where you know that these guys, in a sense, they have their biggest impact, because you're not gonna just wear a North Carolina shirt just for the hell of it. You can say, hey man, they were a good team. Oh, they had a great basketball team. They just won a national championship. And the same thing like for Clemson. You're not just gonna wear a Clemson shirt. Oh yeah, it's nice because it's purple and orange. They just won a national championship. They just beat Alabama.
Right.
So to me, I feel as though if they, if it's a situation where we divvy up during the school year, so say for instance from August to May. If you buy a Clemson shirt at the bookstore or anywhere that is officially Clemson merchandise, and you sell a T-shirt, everybody on that team, like if it's a Clemson football shirt, Clemson football, that merchandise money should go to them. And it's not trying to say, and that's just one thing. I think that's what it really boils down to, and I think that can help the competitive balance. I think, in my personal opinion, because it's kind of hard to because they do deserve bigger pieces of the pie when you're looking at the television revenue and also what they bring into the school as far as enrollment. Because people don't understand, people go to school there because of the athletics there.
Right.
Because like I remember one year when Illinois and Chicago made the NCAA tournament, they said their enrollment went up like 20, I don't know, I think it was like 30%. And the same thing goes here with VCU. When they went to the Final Four, it boomed.
Student population it went up at least 10,000 a year. Yeah. It seemed like since they went to the Final Four. Because I know when I first got here in 06, I'm like, VCU. It was a nice size school.
Yeah, it was a nice school, yeah.
But then it's like, over there, you're like, wow, and you see the growth.
Yeah.
You see that the buildings being added on and the dormitories being added on because that money, that basketball money.
Right.
So imagine with VCU getting this little bit of paper here for these bills. Imagine with the big schools, the Oklahomas and the Florida States, what they're getting for these, for the revenue that's generated by their football teams. Because VCU doesn't have a football team. Right,
and VCU doesn't have a football team, and they're not even really primarily a basketball school. When you think about it, VCU,
school, ain't it?
To an extent, yeah. Okay. And like you said, they're just a team. Don't get me wrong, VCU is a good college basketball team. They're a team that can usually on the fringe of a top 25. Okay. If you do it, top 25 might be overselling. Maybe a top 35, top 40 team in the country.
So their name is,
synonymous. But just imagine, like you said, if you go if you like at Alabama where you're number one, you're king in football, but then when you even in basketball, you may be in the top 7 or whatever, but you still generate money. Because you look at even like at VCU, even if you make the tournament, you're making a lot of money here and there. But I mean, yeah, and I think it's ultimately it's money motivated. Because it's always it is.
Dollar don't make sense, and these schools, it's actually the pimping thing.
Pretty much, and that's what it boils down to.
It's modern day.
It is.
I hate to say it's modern day slavery because if you look at it, it's basically this is your regimen here. This is what you do. They're telling you what you do and when you can do it, and then when you go to the NFL Combine, if that doesn't look like the cattle block.
It does. It does.
Yeah, and it does. Measured. And
everything.
Let's see how fast you run, boy. Let's see how high you jump.
And that's my thing. And that's what about that process. It doesn't matter because that's the thing. I always hate the fact that they do a combine because it doesn't matter because how are you going to measure somebody's skill when they're wearing clothes that's going to wear on the field? Essentially, they're not going to be wearing that stuff on the field. It's the best to show.
They got to show who got the power, and we want to show you who.
That I'm gonna bring you here. I'm gonna bring you to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And see how you can jump, how fast you can run.
Well, we know where the home of Indiana. We know who their home is.
Right.
KKK. We know that's your home right there. So
yeah.
It is what
But and my thing is, to go back on to this one is, I think this LSU they just need to be. I think they have to have empathy in this situation more so than they like. And this lets me know that it's so disingenuous, and especially at this time, this time of year where kids are getting let out of school.
Right.
And my thing is like, okay, so. And they claim that they want to protect the campus. I know kids are going to be there for summer school and this, that, and the third. But of course, this just comes at a time where I'm like, I don't like, just this particular case in general. It just disturbs the fact that you can't, these kids can't wear LSU clothes due to if they want to protest.
And they're finding the most minuscule things to distract you from what the ultimate point of this thing was. Black man was murdered by 2 police officers in the state of Louisiana, and they're going scot-free with no charge, no nothing.
Right. So,
because I know you're going to be upset about this, let me keep you in check right now, that you know if you're seen worn any LSU merchandise, you'll be punished.
And
really?
And back to the point, because I had a story from our guy Daryl, and I remember he talked about as well. He was saying how this is something that's going to affect these kids' life way past LSU, where they could, and I don't remember text by text, but that we discussed, but I know, just to paraphrase what he was saying, was this issue is going to affect these kids going forward. So it's like, how can you stop these kids from doing something that could ultimately could hurt them one day in the future, or something of an issue of that type of nature, where it's like, how can you tell somebody not to do something, and if you do it, don't wear our clothes? Like, it's crazy. And it's just, it is what it is.
You know what it is, so.
And we know, and we definitely know what it is. Definitely shout out a guy, Marcus J, is watching Couch Coach Live, man. Hey, man.
What's up, Marcus?
Hey, man.
Marcus J.
We must be doing something good.
That's what's up.
We must be doing something good. We must be doing something real good. Yes. So, and I think LSU should have been upfront with this in the situation. I think emailing in the sense of it's not personal. I would have been fine if they said, "Hey, guys, let's meet in the comment area. Let's have some people. If you're concerned about the situation, I want you guys to come at whatever place, and I want you guys to talk about it, because what happens when you do something, the vent and frustration can be let out in the type of meetings where these guys have to resort to Facebook and stuff.
Sit there and you
right,
and
right
there, whether if you got this one.
And you can bring, and they can bring the scene and have some type of dialogue about it, and that's my thing about it. That's why when I had the disagreement, I really wanted to say that it's like there are ways to show that you care genuinely about a situation, because honestly, in this type of situation, all it boils down to is a talk. You talk to these kids, and that's why when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, and I know I'm gonna be like somebody sound like Dr. Phil, but that's what's wrong with most of our young adults at this point. They don't have people to talk to, and in a sense they vent in other ways that they shouldn't.
People don't know how to communicate.
And that's what I think.
We're so far removed from the face-to-face interaction.
Right.
We're texting, we're on the phone, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, whatever have you. And it's so it's connected, but it's disconnected.
Right.
Because you're instantly connected, but at the same time you're
disconnected.
You're in your own little bubble, and that's all you're worried about. There's no genuine love. There's not that love with your fellow man there anymore. It's not that genuine interaction where you get to know somebody.
And
it's sad to say, but that's the way of the world, because we become so distracted because we got so much going on in our everyday lives that we put to the forefront when it's really not that important.
It's not, and that's true. It's a lot of stuff that we deem as, this is not like, it's serious, but it's really not. It's something that you can take care of and and be done with it. And that's my thing.
We put our weight into
too much stuff.
Too much BS. You know what? Too much
right,
stuff that's
right.
inconsequential.
That doesn't help whatsoever. And it's not. Yeah, and this is one of those things where, like you said, if it was genuine, like if you're genuine, I think that would have been something that you should have done. Right. Gather these guys up and have like a little powwow. In a sense.
Send it to them on the email.
Right. So of course.
How was that?
And this is the perfect time because I don't know how LSU's academic schedule is, but I guarantee you, this might have been like the last week of finals. This would have been a perfect time to say, hey, before you guys leave for the summer, let's talk about this. Because I don't want you to go home with this resentment to an extent, or because this is a real serious issue, and this is scary when you think about it. Because when you think about the type of situation, and people don't understand, this could have been anybody. This could have been anybody. So of course, the natural reaction is I'm going to lash out on social media because that's the only place, or I'm going to have a protest. So I have a voice there. I have a voice in these protests, but I can't go and talk to the AD and all us come together in a room and we discuss it and have a forum about it. No, because nobody wants that. Because like you said, it boils down to you are the employee.
Yeah, it's a matter of control. It's a control factor. Because,
right.
They sent the email out. Okay, just letting you know that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really care much.
We're going to carry this like a business, and this is what we mean. And you say, and you're going to abide by it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are.
No need for conversation.
No need for
I don't
conversation.
want to face to face. I don't need that because then you're going to try to sway me.
And you're going to sway me to a point, where it's like.
Because I made my mind up, this is what it is, and because I said so, this is how you're going to do it.
So,
we know what that is.
You want me to empower them? Shocking. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we'll do a small draft recap. And we got to address the elephant in the room, man. Who is buying these $495 tennis shoes? So we'll be right back. This is Couch Coach Live.
I'll buy them.